It was 7 games in 5 days, which made for a busy weekend. We start with Iowa wrestling, as wrestling reporter Laura Belanda was at the Hawkeyes meet on Saturday and has more. Laura?
When one Hawkeye, Alex Meyer, dropped his match, it was Sammy Brooks, the 184-pound junior, who took on Jordan Rogers to clinch a win that lived up to Saturday's hype. The Hawkeyes suffered 3 losses before Sammy Brooks stepped onto the mat, but he had one thing on his mind.
The moment I stepped on the mat, it's all business. That didn't change anything for me. I expected Meyer to win, and I'll expect Meyer to win every match, but so my mindset's not going to change when I wrestle, no matter what happens before me.
Brooks completely dominated this match. Beating Rogers by 15, he only needed 4 minutes and 9 seconds to get the technical fall. The final score of the match, 17-2. This turned the duel around for good in Iowa's favor and put the team score at 15-3, raising it 5 points.
It's a 5-point win team-wise, and that's big and confident. And the way that he was wrestling and how hard he was hitting those holds, how he was finishing, that's what we want.
Brooks hardly had words for the way he felt after this caliber of a win.
I'm not usually one to, I try and think I'm not usually one to get up and celebrate and flex like that, but there was no stopping myself. It was just so, it felt like a lightning bolt.
Reporting inside Kinnick Stadium at Grapple at the Gridiron, Laura Belanda, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
It was also just announced that Sammy Brooks has been named the USA Wrestling Athlete of the Week after his performance over the weekend. Daily Iowan TV's football reporter Ian Murphy takes a closer look at what made Iowa quarterback C.J. Beathard so special on Saturday. Ian?
An injured quarterback isn't supposed to run for 50 yards and a pair of touchdowns. And even more, he's not supposed to pass for 213 yards. But that's exactly what C.J. Beathard did on Saturday night. Beathard has been hampered by a groin injury for much of the season, and his mobility had been questioned over the last several games. He answered those questions early and often on Saturday, though, and his teammates credit him for making plays when they needed them.
Yeah, and he's going to keep plays alive, and it's really our job just to kind of scramble and find an opening and just make a play when he's out there scrambling around.
Beathard went to his legs to score the second Hawkeye touchdown of the game, a 1-yard bootleg where he scored untouched. It was Beathard's first of 2 touchdowns on the day, and head coach Kirk Ferentz said the play had been dialed up all week.
We're not taking it out. I think it's back in now, and if he can run it, we're going to call it, believe me. But the sneaks might be off the board.
The redshirt junior probably won't score an easier touchdown this year.
That's the easiest touchdown I'll ever have, that's for sure. It was a good play call, a great play call, and we talked about it during the week. We're like, if we call this, you're going to walk in, and that's exactly how it was. I literally walked in.
Beathard also scored on a quarterback sneak for his second rushing touchdown and threw for 213 yards through the air. Beathard is already off to the best start in school history for a quarterback, and he added another chapter to his growing legend on Saturday night. For Daily Iowan TV Sports, I'm Ian Murphy.
Iowa will be back inside Kinnick this Saturday with a chance to clinch the Big Ten West Division. It was 2 games over the weekend for the Iowa men's basketball team. I was there courtside for the contest and have the recap. Iowa men's basketball began their season Friday night and showcased a dynamic team and their win over Gardner-Webb. Of course, contributing to the win was the veterans on the team, but the Hawks also debuted a few fresh faces and liked what they saw. Jared Uthoff was the key player in the first half, going 6 for 9 in field goals and making 7 free throws. Scoring 8 of the first 9 points of the game, Uthoff dominated the floor, but Iowa only had a 4-point lead at half, 41-37 over the Runnin' Bulldogs. It was all about Iowa's defense in the second half as they held Gardner-Webb to just 22 points, forcing 9 turnovers. Iowa utilized their roster, playing 13 Hawkeyes, including freshman Ahmad Wagner, who dominated his debut with a team-high 8 rebounds and finished with 6 points.
He knows exactly how to come in and impact the game. So when he's sitting on the bench, he's going to figure it out. He's going to come in and help us.
Just do what I can to get other guys open, get other guys more shots and everything, so that's rebounding and just make effort plays.
The Hawks went on to play Copen State on Sunday. Jordan Maloney has more.
Thanks, Katie. Just like in their season opener, Iowa's defense played a key role in their win over Copen State, holding the Eagles to just 65 points. Posting 103 points, the Hawkeyes added their second win to their season, thanks in part to the entire team. A 30-point lead at half meant more playing time for some Hawkeyes who may not see the court every game. With 58 points and 28 rebounds coming from the bench, 14 different Iowa players contributed to this team win.
When you have young players, you got to be able to let them get in the game, make a mistake, stay in the game. You know, today we were able to leave those guys in, and a lot of good things happened.
I thought it was great to see other guys step in, hitting shots. Dale, Dom, they all played great. And OK, he's doing his thing at the end. It's just great to see everybody get involved.
Next up, the Hawkeyes head to Milwaukee to take on Marquette, hoping to add another win to their record. Reporting from inside Carver Hawkeye Arena, I'm Jordan Maloney with Daily Iowan TV Sports.